Good morning and welcome back to Schloop's Garage. It is Tuesday morning. Again, I'm out here before I head to work. So, in the previous video for the Chevelle, I talked about the TCS. The TCS on these cars is what is known as the transmission controlled spark. It uses a switch in the transmission as well as a temperature override here on the passenger side cylinder head to control your spark advance. So some of the components here, this is that switch I was talking about. You've got a relay up on your firewall, and then the reason why I'm actually doing this, I'm removing the whole system, like I said, is because my car has an HEI, so I don't need to run this anymore. Not that you ever really needed to run it to begin with, but I learned about this because, let me get you in here, my transmission leaks pretty good, but up in here, if I can get in here, I might be on the wrong side. Where am I at here? Yeah, I think I went to the wrong side of the transmission, which no big deal. Yeah, let me take you guys to the other side here. So, I obviously forgot which side of the transmission that's on. Okay, so up in here, there is a switch. You just barely see it right here. So that switch on my car leaks. That's how I originally found this, is because I was trying to figure out why the transmission was leaking so bad. So what that is a pressure switch, and depending on pressures in the transmission, it opens and closes the solenoid to allow vacuum to run to the distributor to control your vacuum advance. So I'm gonna first get started by disconnecting this. That was simple enough. So we're gonna head up to the firewall now. Sorry for the roller coaster ride. So I've got that disconnected. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this guy off the firewall. This is that relay. So it's riveted to this gutter here for the wiring. So what I'm gonna try to do is snip these rivets out from behind it. Hopefully, I don't want to necessarily damage this relay. What I could do for now is probably just disconnect all this wiring first. I had initially thought for some reason that was my reverse wiring going down to the transmission, but after doing research I discovered it was not, and that was this TCS system. So hopefully I can get this disconnected. There we go, there's one, there's two. So I believe this whole harness here should be able to come out. And I've got this switch down here, the wiring was all frayed and nasty. So that's disconnected. Ooh. I think I just dropped my keys. So unfortunately, it looks like this is a lot more than just the TCS in this harness. But we got this. I didn't want to cut this all out because I figured somebody might be able to use it on their car if they're trying to go back original. But my wiring's all chewed up and disgusting, so I'm not too horribly worried about keeping this perfectly intact or anything. But there's that wire I disconnected underneath the car. That is a black, looks like it's just a straight black wire. So I might end up doing here is just pulling this, and that should come out. That split my tape, which is fine. I'll go back and retape all this, maybe put loom on it. What wire am I pulling on here? Ah, that one right there. Okay. So I was always wondering what this wiring over here was. I believe this was to go to the actual solenoid that your vacuum line ran through. This would open, send a signal to open and close that solenoid to be able to give your distributor vacuum. So the only wires that I have extra now that are left in this harness, I think are all my main power wires, which I don't want to remove, obviously. So I know I'm doing this very crudely. Kind of wasn't prepared to be splitting wiring harnesses. I thought it was just going to be as simple as coming out here and removing some wiring without having to do all this. But that's alright, we're working around it. There we go. So the reason why I want to get rid of this is it's just extra wiring in my engine bay that's not doing anything. So for one, it cleans up the engine bay. For two, I don't like having extra wiring in my engine bay. When it's not needed, it's extra stuff with voltage running through it that can short out, catch the car on fire, because we do not want to do that. So there's a vast majority of the wiring right there. That went to the transmission. This went to the relay. This went to the original solenoid. And then this went to the switch on the head. So all that's removed. All I should have to do now is retape up all this wiring here, tuck it back where it belongs, which I gotta go under there and disconnect it because there's grommets for that wiring to run through that whoever installed all this stuff last missed. So what I'm left with here should be a 12 volt black and pink wire. It should only come on with ignition. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is pulling that back to here, and I might end up running that as my power to the HEI distributor. I don't know if it's thick enough to handle that load, but right now my HEI is powered by this blue wire here that goes straight into the firewall, into my fuse box. And I just have that hooked up to the ignition side of the fuse box. There's a little spade terminal on there. But that's it. TCS is pretty much deleted. Appreciate you guys watching the channel. Sorry there hasn't been a lot of Chevelle content. It's been raining, nasty, and I'm kind of at a standstill right now with this car. There's some stuff going on with it. For instance, I went to try to time the car. I don't know if you can see that. There's my harmonic balancer is bigger than I believe it is supposed to be for this engine. So my actual timing marks are smashed behind the harmonic balancer. So I'm gonna have to get a new timing cover or harmonic balancer or both, so I can actually time this car and figure out where the timing's at, so we can get this engine running perfectly. I have developed a coolant leak here at the water neck, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. But just little stuff here and there on the car, nickel and diming me. No big deal. We'll make it to power tour one way or the other. But there's a lot of other wiring I need to clean up, like over here. These crappy splices going to ground. So I'll run a new ground off the battery for that. Make it look nice. That be reliable. I did get some headers in for it. They're up in the shop. Pull these old nasty cast iron manifolds off. Put a true dual exhaust on it. Not quite sure if I'm going to run an X pipe or an H pipe or what. I have both laying around, so we'll figure that out. But again, thanks for tuning in. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.